and then we will start in on the rest of our conference.
Today, we are going to hear a presentation from Julie with the Iowa Department of Transportation. They're going to talk about the mobility coordinator project that they have going on in our state. And then we'll also have Ben that will be able to answer some questions if he's actually working in the facilities, kind of coordinating some of this work. So just a reminder to please keep yourself on mute and use the chat function if you have any questions or comments that come up during the presentation. We hopefully will have a few minutes at the end where we can ask some of those questions to our presenter today. Thank you.
Thank you, Shelley. Good morning. I am Julie Johnson. I'm a part of the Iowa Department of Transportation's Motor Vehicle Division team and serve as the Driver Central Programs Manager. With me today is Ben Kreger, who serves as a mobility manager and is a part of our Driver Central Programs team. I do want to apologize. I'm in the Ankeny office and I'm having some technical issues, so I don't have camera availability today. In 2019 and early 2020, collaborative conversations began between the Iowa Department of Transportation's Motor Vehicle Division and the Iowa Department of Corrections, focusing on reducing barriers and assisting underserved populations across Iowa. This partnership has allowed us the opportunity to get out of the driver license service centers and start helping individuals where they are, focusing on assisting those that may not possess the means or capability to utilize our services in a different way. An official form of identification is vital for success. Without proper identification, such as a state-issued ID or driver's license, a person is unable to open a bank account or cash a check, seek medical treatment, pick up necessary medications from a pharmacy, apply for and obtain gainful employment, enroll in technical schools or colleges, rent an apartment, or purchase a home. You all know this and are very aware. The most important events in our daily lives require official forms of identification. In March of 2020, right at the beginning of the pandemic, the Motor Vehicle Division began a pilot program, partnering with the Department of Corrections and working directly with those preparing to reenter society after incarceration, meeting with and providing information about individual driving records and the necessary steps these individuals must take in order to regain driving eligibility and privileges. Our goal with this program is to reduce barriers and improve necessary services for these members of our communities. Okay, I'm not advancing here. I apologize. We recognize those that are incarcerated as an underserved community with a unique set of challenges and needs. This shift in thinking has led us to these opportunities and vital partnerships to provide equitable identity and mobility-related access. By collaborating and fostering partnerships with the Iowa Department of Corrections, Iowa Workforce Development, along with our own Office of Public Transit, we are creating processes, procedures, and information that is specific to reducing barriers and helping those preparing for reentry. Because incarcerated individuals have a unique set of challenges and needs, we truly believed full-time positions housed within the walls of the institutions would best serve their needs prior to release. Our goal is to assist each individual in creating their own specific comprehensive mobility plan. This means not only reviewing their driving history to determine eligibility, aiding in establishing payment plans when necessary, or administering knowledge testing, issuing an official ID or DL prior to release, but also ensuring that they have a transportation or mobility plan in place and are able to successfully get from point A to point B and back again. Even if an individual may be issued a driver's license and have driving privileges returned prior to their release, they may not have immediate access to a vehicle. In this case, or in those cases in which an individual does not have driving privileges at the time of release, it is critical that we assist in developing a reliable means of getting them where they need to be. whether it be interviews for employment, to and from work location, once employment is established, medical appointments, probation, parole, or other required appointments, just to name a few. Since our mobility manager is on site, they have the opportunity to assist each individual and their specific needs by answering questions about their driving record, future driving eligibility, alternative modes of transportation, ensuring all of their information is up to date, along with issuing that important official identification prior to release. To date, our mobility manager, Ben Kreger, has assisted over 2,700 individuals with driving record reviews, driving eligibility questions, aiding in payment plan creation for any outstanding fines and fees they may owe, establishing alternate modes of transportation as well. Ben also partners with correctional counselors within the institutions in identifying individuals that are required to participate in Prime for Life. This is a drinking driving program that is required for those that have received an OWI. Without completing this important step, one would not have their driving privileges reinstated. He also works with DMAC and speaks during life skills classes as well. Expectations for those releasing from prison are high, as we all know, and the resources in many instances may be limited. We attempt to get as much done as possible for those preparing for release in order to reduce some of those challenges that they face, so they can focus more of their energies on important things like reintegrating with their families, obtaining employment, etc. Creating partnerships and positive opportunities for this community is truly reducing barriers and getting them one step closer to being fully prepared for release and success. I would like to also note that our mobility manager assists correctional staff with their driver license and ID needs as well. So those correctional staff do not have to worry about getting an appointment with a service center or county treasurer outside of their work hours if a mobility manager is working within their correctional facility. This pilot began with the Newton Correctional Release Center in March of 2020. We then added services to the Women's Institution in Mitchellville in March of 2021. We have also been partnering with the facilities in Clarinda and Mount Pleasant, issuing remotely whenever possible. We are so very thrilled to share with you today that this program is now out of the pilot phase. Due to the success of the pilot, even with the challenges of the pandemic that everyone faced during 2020 and somewhat into 2021, we are now adding 2 additional full-time positions. On May 1st, Mount Pleasant Correctional Facility will come online and will have a mobility manager assigned to their facility. Within the next 6 to 8 months, we will be adding Clarinda, North Central Correctional Facility in Rockwell City, and Fort Dodge. Within the next year, we hope to be serving all correctional institutions across the state once all 3 of our mobility manager positions are filled and on board. Some additional exciting news I'd like to share with you today. Currently, we offer non-commercial knowledge testing within the facilities for those that may need to take it. We were recently approved to begin driving skills testing as well for a select security level within the Women's Institution in Mitchellville, who are preparing for release. We have also recently started conversations with a couple of community colleges regarding their interest in potentially adding commercial knowledge testing program opportunities. With this type of program, individuals would have the opportunity to take the theory or knowledge portion of entry-level driver training that is now required while still incarcerated. This would allow them to complete one portion of the necessary training and steps and preparing them for obtaining a commercial driver's license. As mentioned earlier, with approval of additional full-time positions, we would love to see this vital program grow and expand to serve all judicial districts, community-based correctional facilities as well. Another possibility down the road may even be county jails one day. So we want to thank you for having us today, telling you all about our program. And Ben and I would be happy to answer any questions if anyone has any at this time.
So far, Julie, I don't see any. Oh, here we go. From Laura Roeder Grove. would like to replicate the issuance of ID cards for youth discharging from residential facilities or the state training school as another expansion effort.
That is a great idea. We would love to see that happen as well. We'll add it to our list. Thank you for the question.
Julie, this is Katrina. Good morning.
Good morning.
I don't think you mentioned how we may be going into more of the institutions. Could you share that? Or maybe you did and I missed it.
Yes, I did. As of May 1st, we will have a mobility manager full-time in Mount Pleasant Correctional Facility. And then soon after that, we'll add Clarinda. Shortly to follow will be Rockwell City and Fort Dodge. And then within the next year, we hope to have services in all 9 institutions as they're needed.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Sure, absolutely. And I would be happy to share this presentation with anyone if they would like to see it as well.
Julie, you can send that to me if you'd like to. And then if we have any requests for it, I am happy to share it with the participants.
Happy to.
Thank you.
Sure. Thanks again for having us today. We appreciate getting the information out there about this important program.
Okay, we have we have other chats from Catlin Curry at DART. Can you talk about how you work with community-based corrections on those mobility plans?
So yes, right now we're currently working specifically in the institutions and with 1st and 6th judicial districts. And with the transportation plan, we ask them questions. If they have driving privileges and don't have access to a vehicle, we look at the location where they're going to be released to and see what the transportation options are. If there is rideshare programs, public transit, maybe their employer offers rideshare opportunities as well. So we research all of that based on the location where they will be releasing to and living, and then help them set up a mobility plan from that point.
Great. Are they able to get a driver's license if they set up a payment plan?
Ben, you want to take this one?
Yes. So it really is dependent on what that individual is sanctioned for. So if, for example, the only reason that somebody is suspended is because they have unpaid traffic tickets, then yeah, they would be able to set up a payment plan and get their full-on regular driver's license back. If somebody has tickets in addition to, let's say, like an OWI, the payment plan just by itself isn't going to get that person reinstated. Sometimes there's additional requirements to just paying out a fee or a ticket to get reinstated. So it really just kind of depends on that individual specific situation.
Okay, another question we have is, are there any additional resources the DOT would need to sustain, this or grow this program?
Definitely positions and funding. We are very blessed that Department of Corrections, we are providing the positions. Department of Corrections is covering the cost of those 2 additional positions. We're very appreciative of that and that partnership, so this program can grow. So definitely funding and just FTEs to ensure that it continues to grow.
Can they start the payment plan while incarcerated?
Yes.
Sort of. It just, like, the unfortunate thing about the payment plans is that they're county specific, and the county is able to kind of define their own criteria as far as like what the parameters are going to be. Like Lindsay asked a follow-up question: is the payment plan different than the CAP program that some counties participate in? You could use those two terms interchangeably. CAP program is the county attorney payment program. And so any county that participates in payment plans, typically that's run through the county attorney's office. And now to back up just a little bit on the payment plan question. So when an individual is incarcerated, they can certainly they can take cases and add them to their obligations to start to pay on. But as far as like a traditional payment plan, like when somebody's incarcerated, all they're doing is making payments towards that ticket getting removed. It's not the same thing as like if they were to walk into the county attorney's office and say, hey, I'm suspended, I need to get my license back, what'll it take? Like when somebody's still incarcerated, they don't want to, they're not going to enter into a payment agreement with them and send us the releases of information, because the person, while they're still incarcerated, doesn't have the ability to make a regular minimum monthly payment. So in most cases, the county would be kind of, I don't want to say spinning their wheels, but it's like they don't have anything solid that they can go off of. Like, as you know, if you were released and had a steady paycheck coming in. I hope that answers that or clears that up.
And just to add to that, legislatively, if we could encourage all counties to participate in accepting payment plans, or require them to, I should say, that would be a step in the right direction as well.
Then Ben, there's a thank you. Thanks, Ben. I'm sure I'll have more questions, but I can wait till Monday. After release, who is the contact for Polk County to discuss reinstating licenses and payment plans?
Ben, do you want to take that one?
Yes. So here, I'm actually gonna, so in Polk County, you can't walk in anymore. So the first thing that you have to do is, I'm putting a link in the chat here for everybody. The first thing that you have to do is you have to apply online. And my understanding is that like after you complete the initial application process, then so you would put all your information down and you would say, hey, I'm trying to get my driver's license back. And then whoever is in charge of reviewing those applications, then I'm guessing will go and pull all of your court costs and cases and fines from Iowa courts online, and then give you a call back and say, okay, Mrs. Carter, this is all the tickets and fees that I found for you. So if you want to get your license back, I'm going to need a down payment of $500. And then I need a minimum payment of $100 on the first of every month until your entire balance is paid off. And as long as you remain in compliance and always make your minimum payments, we will go ahead and we'll send over the DOT a notice to withdraw your suspensions. And FYI, if you choose to stop paying on those, or if you can't make your payment for whatever reason, then we're done here. And I'm going to send over the notice to suspend back to the DOT, and then you can figure it out with them.
Okay, how about, you've got that, Ben?
If your county doesn't participate in the CAP program, how do we go about starting this payment plan in order to get their license? So okay, let's say for instance that Lindsay, you only have 3 unpaid traffic tickets that are holding up your license, and those 3 unpaid traffic tickets are in a county that does not participate in payment plans. Now, sometimes neighboring counties, if they're big enough and they participate in payment plans, sometimes they will go ahead and they will take on another county's payment plans. It doesn't happen a lot. A good example of counties that work together would be like Polk and Dallas, or Polk and Warren, or Lynn and Johnson. But like, if I have one in, let's say, Humboldt County, and I'm trying to approach Blackhawk County to take my payments for that, if the I guess what I'm getting at is, no, not all counties work together. If they don't do a payment plan, I know that you can, the Department of Revenue also has a payment plan option. My understanding of the Department of Revenue payment plan is that it's a limited payment plan, not like the same length of time that one would get if their county attorney's office participated. But like, the other thing that we're able to do too, and which I do quite a bit of, is restricted license. So there's a lot of, I think, misunderstanding out there that in order to get a restricted license, that you need to be on the hook with the county for a payment plan, and that's not the case. Like, if you came to me and you said, hey, my county doesn't do payment plans, I don't have the money, nobody will work with me, like, I can issue you a restricted license. In most cases, it's a limited license. You're only going to be able to drive to and from work or your PO office or treatment. But the beauty of that restricted license is, while you are on it, you are paying the tickets when you can, in the amount of money that you can afford at that time. And you also know too, as soon as those 3 tickets are out of your way, that the DOT will then convert your restricted license to a regular license, and then you're free and clear.
Julie had a comment for there that there can be workarounds on counties that might not do direct payment plans. Other counties may assist, as well as the treasurer's office. Work with which our mobility team will work to help establish and gather information. Jared had a question. What is the average monthly payment? What is the plan based on? Income, fines, combination of both, or does this vary county to county?
I believe that it is going to vary from county to county. What I can tell you is that, and this is from reading from the link that I posted in the chat, but like with Polk County, for example, they have redone their payment plan within the past couple months to make it so that way the payment is based on the applicant's ability to pay. But in my experience, I believe that what the payment plan is based on is, what all do you owe the state of Iowa, not just in traffic stuff, but criminal, court costs, traffic. And typically it's, we'll help you get your license back, but you're going to put all of that stuff on the payment plan. Does that answer that question?
Definitely. I see Bobby Pate had his hand up. I don't know if I have the ability to do that or not. Katrina, can you, I think,
Bobby,
or Shelley?
Yeah, do you think, Bobby, you can put the question in the chat box, or is it more of a comment, or?
Okay. Thanks, Ben, for explaining that. Personally, I work with that a lot, and that explained a whole bunch of stuff for me that'll be easier to share with clients.
You're going to keep emailing me though, right?
Of course I am.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Hey,
you
this
can
is
run, but you
Shelley. I
can't
have a
hide.
question, maybe for even Katrina or Julie. Do we have data? Do you know how many are coming into Department of Corrections that do not have a valid driver's license? Is that captured anywhere or even on the way out?
I think Ben or Julie would have a better idea of that than I do.
Yeah, we would have to do some data to pull all incarcerated individuals and take a look at who does or does not have a valid driver's license.
Okay, no worries. I was just curious. I think I had heard that number years ago when we kind of started messing around with, implementing the pilot project and things. So obviously I know the program is helping, and you're seeing a huge success. So I too am also very excited that we're going to expand this into eventually all parts of our state.
Mhm.
We are as well, thank you. And we should be pulling those numbers to take a look at that.
Yep, I wrote it down for us, Julie and
Thank
Ben
you.
and Shelley.
All right, any more questions or comments? Ben, Julie, you guys have anything else you want to add?
I do
Thank you
not.
for having us.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it.